prizes and anything it can get its hands on.
Chairman.
I call the Honourable David Cunn.
Mr Chairman, rise to take a short call in support of the Financial Markets Conduct Bill, having enjoyed working with colleagues on it in Select Committee. Mr Chairman, the bill is a fundamental rewrite of our securities law. It will change what the public sees about every investment that they make. The current investment statement will be replaced by a simplified and shortened product disclosure statement, backed up by more extensive information which will be placed available on websites. It brings into the net of securities law a number of products, be they housing-related schemes or schemes by the acronym of DIMS, which I won't be spelling out in the House, bringing those into the net of our securities law so that previous carve-outs, which allowed certain subsets of schemes to run along different standards, will be brought within the general net. Mr Speaker, this is a doorstop full of paper. It's almost as big as the Income Tax Act, and it's every bit as complex. And this is one of those jobs where we poor mortal politicians recognise the limitations of our expertise and our reliance upon the excellent advice that we traditionally get from our professional advisors. More than that, sir, it is incumbent upon the House to note the broad thrust of this and to be able to deal with issues of detail as they are surfaced by the advice process. The reason we're doing this is because of operations like South Canterbury Finance, which burned nearly $1.5 billion of the public and the government's money. Hanover Finance, Bridgecorp, Ross Asset Management, Blue Chip and Sinotech are all examples of companies which have, shall we say, met an unfortunate financial end and taken with them the life savings of thousands of New Zealanders. Sir, that shall not be repeated. And it is incumbent on this House to make sure that the laws that we are passing tonight, or working on tonight, are such that they're up to the job of keeping our financial markets safe. Now, the reason why the gentlemen and ladies in blue on the far side and the gentlemen and women in red here are joining together to pass this bill is there is a common principle here, which is that we understand that having integrity, visibility and regulatory frameworks around our financial markets creates a win-win for both sides of the market. That if markets are transparent, if they are well regulated, if they are fair, that is not only better for consumers and investors, but it is better for business owners. So the interests of capital and the interests of investors are actually aligned around good, strong, clear financial market regulation. And that's what this doorstop, this brick of legislation that we're putting on the table today is designed to do. It would be remiss of me, however, to note the passage of this bill without also noting the global financial crisis. The biggest change since the mid-1970s oil shock has been the fact that there's been a fundamental revision of the literature of economics, of the public policy framework around financial markets, and in particular, and it's a big part of this bill, our attitude towards derivatives. Do you know that a dog could have got a home mortgage in the US 5 years ago before the global financial crisis? A family pet could get a mortgage. And they didn't call home mortgage. You know what they call? You know what they? Yeah. That was probably because he drove him home. You know, we have got an opportunity here to update our legislation to take account of the shifting sense of global financial markets. And that's not a small change, that's a big change. They have failed investors, they have failed consumers, they have failed savers. And so much of what used to be taken for granted by the blue team in particular is now down the toilet. The assumption that markets work perfectly, the assumption of rationality, the assumption of self-regulation has been blown out of the water by the fact that a dog could get a home mortgage in the United States.
I call the honourable member Claire Curran.
Thank you, Mr Chair.